Good evening.
Somebody worship, somebody praise, somebody worship, somebody praise. Hallelujah. I said somebody worship, somebody praise, somebody worship, somebody praise, somebody worship, somebody praise, somebody worship, somebody praise.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening.
Somebody worship, somebody praise.
Good evening, good evening.
You are lifted up.
Good evening, how are you doing? Welcome to Soul Clinic with the Soul Doctor. How are you doing? Thank you, Nelson. Thank you. Oyenike Atinuke. Good evening, Sylvia. Good evening. Favor. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. Tonight I'm excited because it's phenomenal. I've got very, very special guest in the house tonight. So just tag your friends, share this link, and get people to connect with us tonight. Somebody worship. Woo! Tonight is going to be phenomenal. Tonight is going to be phenomenal. I told you last week I have two guests tonight. And I see one of my guests is already in the house. So I'm just going to be bringing them in very, very quickly. But tonight, tag your friends. Share the link. Let them know that we are live. Soul Clinic is live. Yes, Oyenike, how are you? Talk to Oasis. Good evening. I see you all. Thank you for joining. Funkaze. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Tonight is a double whammy. Tag your friends. I'm going to be bringing my guests in very, very quick in a short while. But before I bring my guest in tonight, here this month at Soul Clinic, we have been talking about be all. You can be all that God has created you to be. And we were sharing last week, we're celebrating women, it's Women's History Month. I know there was a day that was set aside to celebrate All Women International Women's Day, but then the whole month of March is actually a celebration of women. In fact, this coming Sunday in some countries is Mother's Day. I think Mothering Sunday or Mother's Day, as some will call it as well. So we are saying to you as a woman that you can be all. You can be all that God has created you to be. You are created on purpose. You are created on purpose with a purpose. There is a reason why God created you. And irrespective of what you've gone through in life, irrespective of where you are in life, you can be all. And that's why we are bringing you women who, God has helped to achieve success in every area of their lives, to come and share and just encourage us that regardless of where you are, you can be all. You can be all. You can be healthy in your spirit. You can be healthy in your soul. You can be healthy in your body. One doesn't have to give way for another. You can be all. And so tonight, like I said, tag your friends, share the link. I see Yoronke, good evening. Reda Basi, good evening. NYC Bella Toyi, Desola, Fennel Cakes and Events. I see you all. Good evening. Thank you so much. Oh, NYC Bella, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited. And you guys know why I'm excited. It's 2 days. Just 2 days to the official launch of Rise Above Your Past book, right? So I'll talk about that a bit more later on. So my first guest tonight, like I said, I have two guests, and they're going to be coming one after another. Hello, good evening. Good evening, Virginia. She's an executive coach, right? She's a leader, trainer, a speaker, an author. She's a women's rights activist and a writer. She's the founder and the president of ACTS Generation GBV, a non-governmental organization which combats domestic violence and child abuse in Nigeria. She has organized various protests for the rights of women and the girl child, some of which are the Buni Yadi massacre of February 2014, and part of the initial group who organized the first protest against the Chibok schoolgirls kidnapping by the Boko Haram. She has also organized various sensational seminars and workshops to empower women on the issues of self-mastery, self-awareness, and self-actualization. I'm super excited. I'm honored tonight to be able to bring to join me tonight. Our hands together. I've sent her a request to join me. Put your virtual hands together. Show her some love. Let me see all the love, all the hearts, all the emojis. Good evening, ma. My guest tonight is Laila. Good evening, Daniel. Good evening so much. I said good evening so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Wow. I mean, you've been doing a lot when it comes to women, helping women, in the area of, self-mastery, self-awareness, self-actualization, dealing with people who have gone through domestic violence and abuse and all of that. And, I know firsthand that you are an expert. Because I remember I called you some time ago and I was discussing something else with you. And you said, there's something going on. I can hear something in your voice. And I'm like, how did this woman know what is going on with me? Because just talking to you over the phone, I didn't say anything to you, but you knew that something was wrong, and you were able to tell me to do some things that really, helped me at that point in time. So I just want to celebrate you and appreciate you, just for all that you do. And I know that you were 70 about a month ago on the 14th of February. So, my goodness, you don't look a minute your age at all. So, happy birthday again in advance. And thank you so much for being here tonight. I just want you, before we just get cracking tonight, to tell us a bit more about what you do, especially with the non-governmental, with the NGO that you do, that you have that works to combat domestic violence and abuse.
Okay,
in Nigeria. Just tell us a bit more about what
advocating domestic violence and abuse and the girl child, abuse of the girl child for about 25 years now, you understand. A little bit over 25 years. It's not, and it wasn't easy at first because there were a lot of things that were not recognized. A lot of things, culture came in, a lot of things, emotions came in, and people used to deal with these things under the table kind of situation. But with the advent of social media, with the advent of IT, reports was so easy to come by, and you'll hear somebody being raped somewhere, somebody nearly killed somewhere, a woman here and there. And we have been working on bills. Luckily, in 2015, we had the bill on the Violence Against Persons Act, which a lot of women don't understand, don't know about. The Violence Against Persons Act. And inside it, you can see a lot of things, but ignorance is not allowing women to know that, yes, they could be frustrated, maybe at the police station, maybe here and there, but it has evolved, Jola. It has evolved, and I'm so happy to see now that people are being, convicted for certain things that are going on. I used to be on the road, anything happens, I'll gather people together and we go and protest. And that was okay at a certain point. There's seasons and times. And I'm so happy to see a lot of people in that space, a lot of young people in that space. Yes, not all of them will understand what it entails, but the passion to try to be, your brother's keeper is there. So I focus on now advocacy through internet, through online situations. So wherever you are in Nigeria, wherever you are in West Africa, once you call in, I will be able to tell you what to do. And wherever you are, we have a network. I'll be able to call a Jola who may be in Nasarawa or Benue or something and said, Jola, please, there's somebody at such and such an address. Could you please look in? So it's been an evolving situation, and we will get there. Even all over the world, you have this kind of situation, but we will get there when people start recognizing that you have a right. You have a right to be safe. You have a right to be not be afraid. So that is it.
Wow, thank you so much. You know, one thing that struck me not too long ago, and I know you're a person of faith, you know, so I just remembered, it just came to my mind, the scripture that says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And I said to myself, this is so true, especially in the lives of women, that women are actually perishing, being destroyed for lack of knowledge. You know, there's this popular saying, which I think is really wrong, that what you don't know can't hurt you. I think that a lot of people, including myself, is what we didn't know. I mean, for me, what I didn't know that was hurting me. Just said, you know, people should know that you don't have to be there. So because we live in a patriarchal society, and you know, you think that a woman should be under, you know, some people say to you that, oh, it's normal, it's okay, this has been happening, you know, what's the big deal? Just be there. But you need to know that it's not okay. It's not okay for you to live in an abusive relationship. It's not okay for somebody to talk to you in a derogatory manner. It's not okay for you to, you know, get into a relationship and your life is worse than it was when you were single. It is not okay. So thank you so much for all you do, Ma. And we're still celebrating women, like I said, you know, is the month of March. We're celebrating women. And I just want to ask you very quickly, you know, a lot of times women feel, what's the point? I really don't want to, there's nothing to celebrate, you know. Women sometimes find it, the struggle to actually celebrate themselves.
This is such
Why do you think this is
it's
so?
a broad topic which I had spoken about before. Why do women not celebrate themselves? There are a lot of things why, the whys, and it has a lot to do with what they have been through. It has a lot to do too to their exposure. It has a lot to do with how they see themselves, being exposed to a lot of things, because behind every action, there's a belief system that comes in. And you find that we're often taught when we're growing up that you shouldn't brag. No one likes a show off. Blowing your trumpet, own trumpet as it were, can still be seen as a negative trait, especially for women. So when you ask a woman, tell me about yourself, most times they will pick on the negatives, what they are not, as opposed to what they are. Do you understand? And you see, you develop a mental habit of looking for what, as I said, people think you are not doing well, and being giving excuses, being in denial, and this is what happens a lot of times. And most times, this energy, this negative energy, is what holds them back. They don't know how to celebrate themselves. And when you see somebody who happens to celebrate herself, it's either one, she's now confident in herself, she knows herself, she's not going to celebrate herself in a very, you know, déclassé way, but she will celebrate herself by telling you what she is, what she's capable of doing, what she can offer. Because when they say men do not respect women in certain ways, men respect women who have content. Do you understand? Who do not use their femininity to get what they want and try to make excuses. We can't in one hand want equal rights, and in the next hand you want to, do you understand where I'm coming from? So when you don't celebrate yourself, you diminish yourself. When you don't celebrate yourself, there is something wrong with your self-esteem. You are not very sure of yourself. So you quickly bring in the negatives because you believe that is the negative that somebody sees. So it's only when women understand who they are, what they are, what role God has put them on earth for. Women do not understand the role that they have. So the enemy of man works on their emotions. And if your emotions are negative, if your emotions are not strong, if you do not believe in yourself, if you do not have confidence in yourself, you will attract an opposite sex who will come and reaffirm that situation and gradually drag you down. And then you will have this aura of I am not good enough. So how can you celebrate yourself when you do not feel that there's anything to celebrate? Do you understand? So that is one of that is a few reasons why women don't celebrate themselves. They feel they don't have anything to celebrate, but they have a lot to celebrate. The fact that they are women, they have a lot to celebrate because God has given them the multitasking ability, you know, the nurturing ability, the provision ability. Leave a woman with her children, she will look for ways of sustaining herself. But you see, the world throws it at you that you are the weaker sex. Hello? Who is the one who calls them the weaker sex? It's the men now. You understand? I mean, you know, when a woman goes and learns how to box and how to do judo, some women will beat a man to nothing. But the fact remains that because you are multi-talented, multi-skilled, dexterous in many ways, you can achieve a lot by your attitude, by your behavior. When you are aggressive, your energy is very manly, and you will tend to be treated like a man. And then you break down because it's not normal, and then you now want to be treated as a woman, but you were aggressive. Don't you know I'm a woman? How can you say that to me?
I mean, it's this. I'm just so loving this conversation. There's a lot of things I want to pick out and just tell you to expand. But I know that your schedule is so tight. But you know what you just said now, that sometimes a woman becomes aggressive, you know, starts feeding because everybody has the, you know, the male side and the masculine side, and you start feeding your yang or yin and yang, that yourself, and then you become like a man, and then another man comes and you're expecting them to treat you like a lady, but it's the vibes that you're giving them that they are the vibes that you are there. So, you know, I'm still going to come and ask you how, you know, but I think that's important for us to understand. One thing that you also said that really like jumped out at me was men celebrate women who have content. Before I come to that, I want to ask you what your view on feminism and equality is. Do you actually really think that, what is your view on equality? So we talk about equality, you know, gender equality and everything. Is that
very
even
confusing to a lot of people? Feminism and gender equality. You see, really and truly, feminism is the advocacy that calls for women's rights. It calls for women's rights to be honored and be on the same level with men's. While gender equity calls for equal access to rights, to opportunities, to everything. Now, the trouble there is that there are some women, because we're being honest to ourselves, there are some women who think that being aggressive in trying to get their rights is the way to go. So they become aggressive, they become, you know, insulting, they take on a very manly role and everything. And then what happens is that when other people are looking at them, they now say, you are a feminist. You believe that you can wear trouser, you believe you can do this. Even some women who do not understand will automatically sometimes not like those kind of women that don't come and tell me nonsense. You understand? So feminism is the advocacy that calls for women. Do you understand? For women's rights to be honored. That is why they say me too. My women's rights to be honored. And equality means that equal access to everything that is, you know, that is right for people, whether male or female. You understand? Fairness, strategies, things that should take place, medical, health, education, and all of those things. So that is it.
Yeah, just equal rights. You know, I think that's really important for us to point out, because God created a woman to be a woman, and God created a man to be a man, and a woman cannot take the place of a man. It's a woman, because I know that sometimes women become aggressive with these things because of the things they've experienced. But the truth is, women still needs to understand that I'm a woman. I cannot do what a man can do. Just like a man cannot do what a woman can do. Men cannot start saying, "Oh, women," because somebody was telling me jokingly that I think it was last week when we're doing International Women's Day. Which one is International Women's Day again? You people have started again, no? You know. And then I'm sure that on Sunday when we start doing more, so you people have started again, you know? So if men to rise up and say, "Oh, men's rights," you cannot get pregnant as a man and carry a child because you are a man. So there are some things that they are the way they are, and it's important for us to actually have this understanding so that it can guide the way we behave and the things that we do. But you also said something that's really, really intriguing. You said men celebrate women who have content. And we're talking about women knowing their self-worth, women being able to celebrate themselves when they should be celebrating themselves, women not looking down at themselves, having a healthy self-esteem. I've heard I want to make trouble now, but I think I'm just going to make the trouble. The truth is, because you said that if a woman has content and a woman knows who she is, she won't be throwing herself at men. Because I have friends who are men, and sometimes they tell me that, this lady sent them a message, this one is sending them their picture. Sometimes as horrible as saying that a lady is sending them their nude pictures. And I'm like, what is wrong with the lady? In my head, I can't like place it, that what is wrong with you? Like, because if from the little I know, I'm still a very young girl, if a man does not like you, he doesn't like you. There's nothing you can do to make him like you. If you like, give yourself to him. He will sleep with you, and that's the end. But you're saying that this is because the woman doesn't have content. What do you mean by that content, that the woman needs to have that content? When she knows she has content, she'll behave differently.
You see, when I was talking more of what I will delve in it about being treated equally, you understand? If you want to be treated equally, you must be able to deal on a certain level. You must be knowledgeable. You must be you must respect yourself. Now, that is where those things that when a woman starts throwing herself through pictures and everything to a man, you don't have respect for yourself, because intimacy, your body is an intimate part of you. Now, if you begin to throw it because you want something, because you want this person, because it's like a trade by barter. I will give you me, you give me money, because it's mostly money and opportunities. So if you come like that, you are fair-minded. You lack the content that will let them respect you. If they like you because of what you are giving to them, they will help you to a certain point, but they will treat you like a possession. And they would they will disrespect you because you have disrespected yourself. What is the content that you are bringing on the table? Can you discuss things beyond showing me your boobs and your waiting call and everything? Can you discuss beyond sex and all of these things? But because they like trophies, especially the older men, they want to, I go out and I see some of these men, you understand, and they have people that's like their grandchildren or their children. What can they discuss with those people? Nothing. There is no content. The only content they have is their body. You understand? And the body, it's like fruit on a tree. They pluck one, you squeeze it, you drink the orange, you throw it away, and then you pluck another one, and you pluck another one. Do you understand? So if you do not have content, a man will not respect you. He will act as if he respects you because you have something he wants. Once you don't have, you will see the way some men will talk to women. Now, on the business side, you can only have equal rights and equal opportunities in an office when you are on the level with a man and you have content in you there as well. You know what you are doing. You are on top of your game. You have everything that you need. You can sit at the table and discuss everything. But when you sit at the table and you want to be like a dumb blonde, and you want to be treated like a woman that I didn't have the time to do this and that. I had to do this and that. You understand? They will not respect you. But when you sit down, you are still feminine. You understand? You're not aggressive. There's a way to be feminine. That you see, people have feminine traits, masculine traits in them. That's what makes us what we are. But when you're a woman, the masculinity is down there. It comes up when you have to protect. It comes up when you have to do certain things. But when it is the reverse, then that's a problem. But that's another thing. So the content is, what have you got to offer? A man will respect you when they can sit down with you and actually discuss, even if you are having a relationship with the man, and beyond all the emotional rigmarole, you can actually have a discussion, you can have a conversation. That is why in marriages or in partner relationships, if you are not able to communicate and discuss with the man beyond, we need this in the house, Sukira is not doing this, that is not doing that, you will lose him there. He will find somebody who he can discuss with. Yes,
I can discuss with on that level.
You must be on top of it. What is your content? What do you know about the happenings out there on CNN or on TV, whatever? Let me not mention our own, no advertising. Let's not advertise for them, Jerry. So, what do you know about what is going on? Or is it what you as your friend? Is it only your dressing, your hair, your this that you talk about? After a while, they will lose interest, or if they love you, they will treat you like, as I say, like a trophy. You are there. You understand? So that is it. If you know yourself, you know your abilities, your capabilities, learn it very well. Whatever your hands see to do, you do it well. A lot of people don't upskill themselves. They are waiting for people to come and upskill them. Sometimes you have to pay to upskill yourself so that you are abreast of things. And even if you are talking to somebody about your profession, what do you do? Within 2 minutes, how many seconds do they say? Within 30 to 40 seconds, that is where you can capture somebody's attention. When you start, what do you do? Well, do you understand? You are still now talking about celebrating yourself. You are trying to think, how can I present myself? Because you are unsure of what can make you speak.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. So women need to begin to develop themselves. You need to begin to, you have abilities on your inside. I said at the beginning that you were created on purpose, for a purpose. God created you with intention. Yes, ma'am.
God created you with intention. It's all inside of us. But if you don't challenge yourself and you are ready to just give up on many things, you kill yourself inside as well. Like me, for example, I'm like a miner of knowledge. I'm still going, and I will keep going until
at 70.
You understand? So you have to challenge yourself, learn new skills. Don't box yourself in. See what other people are doing. Try to learn new skills. So that is it, actually.
Wow, thank you so much. Okay. I'm just going to ask you this one final question before I let you go. You've been able to balance family life, work, NGO, so many things. I just want you to give us a few tips. What are some of the things that you do, or that you did in the past that helped you to achieve this
because work-life balance, as I teach too on work-life balance, is very critical to improving your mental health, your mental well-being, and it will benefit everything that you do. One of the things that I do is I've learned to say no. I've learned to set boundaries. You understand? I've learned to set boundaries.
Please say that again,
I've learned to set boundaries. I've learned to say no. A lot of times, we women, sometimes, when you are unsure of yourself, when you have the people-pleasing, attitude, which
You don't know
already
how to
shows
say
that
no.
there's a problem with you. You want people to love you. You want people to like you. So now you go out of your way to do
It
a
has
lot
to
of
do with
things. And at the end
self-esteem.
of the day, you're burning yourself out. At the end of the day, you will even say to yourself, why did I allow this person to take advantage of me? Well, guess what? When that person comes again, because you don't want to rock the boat, you will do it to a girlfriend too, or a worker, or something like that. It's because you have diminished self-esteem, diminished self-confidence. Because when you have it, you will learn to say no. I learned to say no. Initially, in those days past, I used to feel very guilty when I had to say I can't do something. But the fact remained that I would find out that later I would be berating myself that why did I accept to do that? Look at it now. I'm not able to do my own. You understand? So I started setting boundaries. I started not looking at anybody's face. So long as I know that I have helped and I've been there for someone. So I set my boundaries. I learned to say no, you understand? And I don't take on more than I can realistically handle. Sometimes you take on more to please again, to show people, to show that you are capable and able. But at the end of the day, you stress yourself. And with the stress of the environment, stress of this disruptive society, stress of everything, when you take on more than, you stress yourself and your mental health begins to waver. You understand? Mental health issues are real, just like physical issues are real. Spiritual issues are real. Because if you do not take a conscious effort to be spiritually, savvy, we don't say go and spend all the time in church and be speaking in tongues or doing this or go to the mosque and do all those kind of things. But find time to communicate. Find time to hand things over to God. Don't run ahead of God in things. Leave it, make your plans, but tell God to come. So you could be spiritually bankrupt too as well. So I set my boundaries. I prioritize. I always have a to-do list. I prioritize because you are not a computer. Your head is, can forget things. And the older you get, it's not age that lets you forget. It's because you imbibe through your 5 senses a lot of information, 7,000 information a day through your nose, through everything. So you will tend to, the brain will sieve what it thinks you should remember. Do you understand? So you now have to write it down, your to-do list. I have a to-do list, I tick it off, and if I don't finish in a day, I go back, I look at it. Because you are not a computer. Even computer,
tomorrow if you don't finish
down. And then I self-care. Very important. I self-care. I take time for self-care. I care for my health. I care for what I eat. I sometimes scrimp on sleeping sometimes. And when I do that, it affects me. So I've learned not to do that as best as possible. And I try to exercise. Even I'm not a big fan of exercising, but I will do stretches. You must, because when you exercise, you release the feel-good hormones, that dopamine and all of that. The feel-good hormones comes out. And then diet. All those swallow. And all of that, you must learn. There's nothing you cannot learn. You see this palette, you can actually teach it to, and then take breaks. Don't feel that if you are not there, something cannot happen, something cannot go on. I take breaks because if somebody you put in charge is not capable and able, you get rid of them. You understand? Because upon the stress of whatever you are doing, they are putting their stress on you too as well. So I've learned, not to let empathy. Empathy, you must be able to handle empathy. Don't let empathy turn you into a mumu. You understand? Because if it turns you into a mumu,
please say that again, ma. Please say that again. Say that again. That line. Don't
let empathy turn you.
I'm taking notes. I don't know about you guys.
Where you are not able to take decisions at the right time, and you are, and schedule time off. You don't need to even go far. Sometimes you just need to take a break. Sometimes I go out and I just take my computer and go and have myself a good breakfast at a cafe. You understand? I just sit down by myself and I just do what I have to do. You can only do that when you are confident, because even somebody, how can you do it? I said, because I walk in there, it's my money. I walk in there, my head held up high, I take my computer or my book, and I'm sitting down there. God help you if you come and disturb me. You understand? I will tell you that I'm so sorry. I do not need partner, a companion right now. Even when they see you, don't. Because when you walk in, when your confidence is energetic, they know that you're a woman who, and it's all ages. You can be any age. It's not just because I'm grown. This has been my pattern for a long time, and that is probably why my inside is at peace, and I can radiate the peace outwardly. Sure, you understand? It's not that I use anything. So I anything I teach, it's what I do myself. So those are the 4 things.
Wow. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think a lot of people are jumping on the learning to say no, because I think that's one of the trickiest things, especially as women, you know, because you just want to please everybody, you just want to do it. And then what you said about empath, you know, don't let empathy turn you into a mumu. Oh my goodness, I think that is just words on marble, because sometimes we just, you know, say, oh, let me help, and then we are shooting ourselves in the foot. We are self-sabotaging, you know, while we're trying, you know. Exactly. So I mean, thank you so much, you know, for tonight. I know that your schedule is so tight, and you know, but I'm so grateful that you took time out to come and, you know, be with us tonight. And you said learn, that even at this age you are still learning, you know, which is one of the things why I'm even so grateful to God for, because like I said at the beginning, people perish for lack of knowledge. A lot of people, you know, with what they don't know, you know, that is, so people are saying they're learning tonight. Thank you, they're learning. You know, somebody says, no wonder she looks younger than her age. Okay, so we're learning, because I believe when we have the opportunity to be a conduit of knowledge, it's a great privilege. I'm so excited about my book. My book is going to be launched on Saturday. Yes. Thank you so much. Rise above your past. And, you know, these are some of the lessons that I learned, you know, while rising above my past. I went through 16 years of domestic violence and abuse. I came out of it and I healed, you know. And so some of the principles that I put in that book, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Saturday at the official launch. The link is in my bio if you want to RSVP. It will be good to see you there. Thank you so much. Before I let you go, what do you do to unwind? You know, what do you do for fun?
I'm one of the most boring people. I love to watch movies. You know why? Because what I do is head knowledge. And so I will sit down and just watch a movie. I'm not thinking. Yeah.
And not use
that is head. How I really unwind. I just watch my movies. And I always know when I've gotten to the point where because you know, as a therapist, I'm a therapist, so I have plans. Yes. And depending on how intense it is, I just shut down. You must learn how to shut down. Racing after money, the more you race after money, the more it will be going in front. You must learn how to shut down. Nothing will collapse if you shut down for 1 or 2 hours. You will renew yourself because you are telling your brain, I need this right now. So that is one of my favorite things. I like to watch movies, and then I like to dance. Sometimes I'll just put some of these, I like some of this music, and I'm dancing by myself, you understand? If any of my grandchildren call, we dance around, but dancing is therapeutic. I love dancing. So I dance to my own music, you know, you don't need to have too many people around. So those are the things that I really love doing.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Really an honor. Thank you so much. I'll let you go now. Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. So bye. So guys, I have another guest, okay, that will be joining me shortly. So I'm sure you've picked up 1, 2, 3, 4 things. I just want to begin to put in the chat box what you have picked up tonight. Just from what she has said, she has told us about saying no, setting boundaries, you know, being even connecting to our spirituality, prioritizing, you know, self-care, even exercises sometimes, you know, having a to-do list. You know, I think that is also like really, really important, having a to-do list. And I think that that's so, so, so important for us to even note as well.
Get
I'm
me
just
off.
trying
Yes, I
to
don't know how to
find
go
my,
off.
okay, too.
Have to, because you have to invite
I
somebody
have
else in,
to
yeah?
do that. Somebody else, okay. Let me
Okay, let me just
just,
click off.
if she's here. Okay, I think
Then
there should be a cross button. There should be a cross button there. Okay. Right, okay, so I don't know if okay, so while we're waiting for our next guest, I'm going to read her profile, and I want you guys to just be dropping in the chat box, right? Oh, she's in, okay, she's in already. Good evening, good evening,
Hi,
good
Jola.
evening. Oh, let me just read your profile.
How are you?
Hi. Wow. So, so,
Well,
so good.
well
Thank
done.
you for taking time out to be with us tonight. You know, it's really been phenomenal, you know, and I'm just, you know, so blessed tonight. You know, we just had Mrs. Laila St.Matthew-Daniels, you know, just sharing some stuff with us. And, you know, again, right away, we have another special guest with us tonight. And guys, you have the opportunity to still share tonight. Okay, so guys, listen. She is the founder and the MD CEO of No Leftovers Nigeria Limited, a business that started with a takeoff capital of 1,000, no, not pounds, no, not dollars, no, not euros, 1,000 naira. With the sale of local bean cake, known as Moi Moi, but has grown into a thriving catering outfit. She's one of the first women worldwide to benefit from the 10,000 Women Initiative sponsored by the Goldman Sachs, a program set to empower 10,000 underserved women worldwide with a formal business, skills, and education. Today, she's an ambassador of the 10,000 Women Initiative, and she has graced numerous local and international platforms. And thus, she's become an inspiration to many. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me tonight, I'm going to call her a doctor, Dr. Pastor Sister Ayome. Okay, I'm not going to attempt because I think I'm going to murder it. I've been practicing, no, I promise you, I've been practicing. I even listened to how to pronounce it because I don't want to murder it. So I'm just going to get you to just say your name. Tell us your
Let
name by
me
yourself
start by
tonight.
asking, where did the doctor come from? I don't know where the doctor came from.
I don't know. It just seems it. I know. You're not a doctor, but you know, I
But
just
you
felt like calling
know
you a
what?
doctor. I think it's your glasses. It's your glasses that is making me see you. I see a doctor in front of you, Doctor
Oh,
Ayo.
okay.
I think
So
sounds
my
good.
surname is Megbope. So don't worry. A lot of people
Megbope.
struggle to, pronounce my surname when they're not used to me. So it's fine. How are you? Well done. Well done.
I'm
I enjoyed the
fine.
last session. I mean, Mama Laila is somebody that, even though I don't have a relationship with her, but she's someone I admire so much from afar. A woman with her age, her pedigree, her experience, and everything, and still staying very relevant. It's simply amazing.
It is absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are an inspiration to
Thank
a
you.
lot of people. I know that we have questions and everything, guide questions I want to talk about, and we're celebrating women. It's still the month of March, and we're saying to women, you can be all that God has created you to be, regardless of your background, regardless of your experience, regardless of your past, regardless of whatever it is that has happened to you, you can still be all that God has created you to be. And so what we've done at the Soul Clinic throughout this month is to have guests who are inspirational, who have actually walked the walk, that can come and say to us, look, I did it, you can do it, regardless of where you're coming from. Because I believe more than ever that women just need inspiration. She was just saying that we all have capabilities and abilities in us, but sometimes we just don't see it, or we don't know it, or someone has said to us that, oh, you are nothing, you don't have anything, and so we're just living our lives in that state of dissatisfaction and frustration for so long. But then, it's important for us to know that there is hope, Because I read somewhere that they say that a human being can live 3 days without food and water, 3 minutes without hair, but nobody can survive three seconds, I think, without hope. Hope is important. And how do you get hope? By listening to other people. How do you get hope? By seeing an example of someone that is doing something that you think cannot be done somewhere in your mind. You know, sometimes I say to people, look at me, you know, I don't, it's not about me tonight, but I'm just going to quickly say this because I'm talking about hope. I am a victim of, no, I was a victim of, I'm a survivor, a victim of domestic violence and abuse. You know, I came out of it 16 years, healed, reinvented myself, got certified, you know. Now I take people coaching therapy and all of that. And sometimes I get clients, I sit in front of me and they're like, I don't think I can, you know, be anything, you know. I think this is my life, it's ended, you know, there's no hope. And I said, see, even if I don't say anything to you, just look at me. I'll say, just look at me, 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 look at me. Everything that you're saying to me, I have been there. But if I am sat here, then you have hope. Then you will be okay. One of the things that I say to my clients a lot is, you'll be fine. I'll just be smart. I say, you'll be fine. Because I know that if I've walked the path, you can walk that path, especially if I'm hand-holding you as well. And so I see you as an inspiration to a lot of women who are there wanting to do things and trying and hoping that, and thinking that, let me just give up, you know, I'm a woman. Maybe I really can't be anything. At least I'm a woman. So before we start and continue tonight, right, I want you to share your story with us. You know, I know time is really not on our side, but, you know, just in the little way that you can, just share your story with us and let us start from there. Because I read in your profile that you started the business is 1,000 naira. I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was 1,000 pounds. I thought it was $1,000. But I thought, no, it's actually naira. Okay.
Thank you
really want to hear more
so much, Jola, and thank you. Well done for what you do. And I celebrate you for being a survivor and being bold to tell your story. That's amazing. Thank you for having me. And yes, so it's been a journey of 16 years in entrepreneurship. I didn't plan it. I stumbled into it. And I'm forever grateful.
Wow.
But you know what led me into, I might not be able, of course, because of time, I can't say everything about my story, but I'll just, you know, do some highlights. And I'll start with what led me into entrepreneurship in the first place. I was like in a secure place. I had a job, and the job was, even though it wasn't me, I mean, the pay never lasted till the end of the month, but it was good. It wasn't bad. You know, I had a lot of things that, you know, a lot of advantages that that the job gave me. And, you know, so it was a safe and secure place compared to where I was coming from. I had been on the job for 9 years, but, you know, I just got to a point that I said, you know, I became very uncomfortable, very dissatisfied. I was almost becoming depressed, you know, because I began to wonder, is this all? Is this all? You know? And the job that used to give me so much joy was no longer giving me joy, you know. The gates of the organization that was always very, very attractive, safe, and secure to me was beginning to look like a prison cell. And so I just needed to do something different. It hit me, you know, the times when you heard something over and over again, but it just hit you one day. It hit me that you can't continue doing, you know, things in a particular pattern and suddenly expect a different result. So I just sat down and asked myself, okay, what can I do differently? And it looked as if I had a lot of odds stacked against me, you know, compared to how things were going on with the people that were close to me. This was me at that time. Didn't have a university degree. I was very unsure of myself. Even though I was married and I thank God I'm still married. And I was very, very happily married to a great man, have wonderful children, and I still have, to the glory of God. But you know, there was something in me that was yearning for expression that being married could not give me. that being a mother could not give me. It looked as if I needed to just get out there and explore. And that was what I did. I was working as a secretary in Corona School, Ikoyi, 9 years, and I just decided to resign. It wasn't like I woke up one day and said, okay, today I'm dropping my resignation letter. No, it was a lot of things that had been happening. And one of the things that pushed me out was when we went on the course. All secretaries in all the Corona schools went on a course. And the executive director was looking at all of us from afar. And she told somebody who I know that, what's Mrs. Megbope doing here? She actually looks like a square peg in a round hole. She really doesn't belong here. And when that person that was close to me told me, I began to ask, hi, if they're saying this about me, is it that they want to sack me? I mean, that was the first thing that hit me. And I was like, let me live here before they give me a sack letter. So all of those compiled to the point when I left. And I wanted to open a daycare center when I left, but it didn't work. And I found myself, it was just cooking food for the family on that day when I had a guest who tasted the moi moi that I made and requested that I made for her the next day. And that was how it started. I made for her. She said she was going to give me money for it. And she gave me money for it. And took it home when I made for her the next day. And other people tasted it. And they started asking and gave me money for it. And that gave me courage. It looked so insignificant, but I noticed that spark, and God really helped me to take advantage of that spark and begin to make fire out of it. And that was how the journey started. And so to this year, it's been 16 years, and every day I thank God for the courage to take that bold step.
Wow. I know what you just put together in like how many minutes is
Absolutely.
a whole book, on its own. And one of the things that you said that jumped out at me is you were yearning for something more. I say to people, especially women, that you were created on purpose, with a purpose. There is a reason why God created you. You were not just, okay, so there are over 7.5 billion people in the whole world. God didn't just say, okay, so on Monday, I'm going to create 1 billion. Tuesday, it will be 2 billion. Thursday, and by Friday, we just need to put everything together because I want to rest on Sunday. And then you just happen to be part of the batch. No, he saw a need. He probably saw that, in this generation, people will need to eat very, very delicious moi moi like that. And he said, I'm going to create Ayo. I'm going to put that yen in her, to do. So there's a purpose that you are created. And yes, it's amazing that you are a mother. It's wonderful that you are a wife, but there is more. And I know some people are watching us tonight, and that yearning is in you, but you're sort of like dismissing it, telling yourself, nothing, it's okay. Let me just, I can't be all, I can't be a mother, I can't be a wife, and then also have a career or a business or a passion that I'm following. I can't be all. You can be all. And that is why we are coming to you and we are talking about this tonight. Second thing that I picked up from what you said is you started from where you are. So you knew that you had to do something. You knew that there was more than what you are doing, but you started from where you are. I've seen a lot of people, and I'm sure you probably have the same experience of people sending me messages on DM or, I want to start a business. I need 100,000. Please, I want to start a business. I want to get an office. And I'm like, hey, even me, I'll put that inside my own business. Because people sort of live in that la world where they think that, okay, everything must be, the T's must be dotted, but started from where you are and encourage to do it. Now we're talking about women, international, Women's History Month, International Women's Day, Mother's Day. It's just all about women. And the truth is sometimes women find it difficult to celebrate themselves. Why do you think it is?
If you look at our background as Africans, there's a slavery mentality that the woman has. There's a slavery mentality because of the way we have been made to understand our roles are. You know, especially, I mean, it's cut across different cultures and different backgrounds, but the African culture particularly, we've been raised to believe that the place of the woman is behind. Like, you know, we have sayings like, behind every successful man is a woman. You know, all those nasty, all those expressions that are unfounded, that one man spoke and sounded good, you know, they've become strongholds in our minds. That even when we can do more, we say to ourselves, no, you're not supposed to do more. It's like society wants you to dim your light as a woman. But, you know, I'm really grateful to God for what's happening today. I mean, the way we're raising our girls, the way, you know, you see women thriving. So it is that background, that traditional mindset, you know, even sometimes I'm a Christian, and sometimes I read the Bible, and because of the way the woman came in the picture, the man was created first, and then the woman was picked out of his rib. And so sometimes, you know, that also puts a cage and a lid on our hearts that we can't go further than this. But that's not the will of God. That's not the will of God. So, you know, it's important, for as long as we are that minded, we can never ever appreciate ourselves. We would always look at ourselves as the weaker vessel. I know there's a scripture that says that the woman is the weaker vessel, but you see, it's not in the terms of you can't be all. It's not in the terms of you can't be strong. Okay? It's just your frame, the physical frame. What is inside the man is what is inside the woman. And so until we begin to tap into those strengths, so we must celebrate ourselves. And see, for as long as you don't celebrate the little achievements, you will never be able to embrace the big opportunities that come your way. So that's why it's important that as women, we deliberately celebrate our wins. You got up in the morning, celebrate it. You went to work, you came back, celebrate it. Don't even wait for anybody to celebrate you. It's very good to have people celebrate you, I must tell you. But do not wait for people to celebrate you. Take it upon yourself. And we have to remind ourselves of this, because sometimes we set too high standards for ourselves, in the sense that we want to now become very competitive. See, it's a very, very risky scenario sometimes, even when you have risen to a particular level, and then you want to go higher and higher and higher. And maybe because you have not gotten to the height you desire to get to, you now begin to second guess yourself. It's important that every step you take, you tell yourself, well done. Give yourself words of affirmation every day. Affirm yourself. And then you will see how strengthened you will become, how emboldened you will become to even take advantage of the opportunities that continue to come your way.
Wow, this is so loaded. And I think what jumped out to me was the first thing you said is our mentality as women. Women are powerful. Women, we are phenomenal. There was something, let me try and, there was something I posted, and, it just came to me last week, during Women's Day, and I thought, because a lot of times as women, we look down on ourselves. Like you said, we say to ourselves, I'm just here, just to maybe pass away time, look after the children, just be a husband. And I said, woman, you are wonderfully created. You are outstandingly beautiful. You are magnificently structured. You are amazingly gifted.
Absolutely.
And you are a nifty nurturer.
Yes.
That's a woman. That's who you are. But you said we find it difficult to celebrate ourselves because our mentality has been warped. We say to ourselves, I'm not good enough. I'm a woman. Let me just be quiet. And there are some things, the truth is, somebody said to me that there's nothing anybody wants to do, especially if you are a person of faith, you will find something in the scripture to justify your bad behavior. It's always there. So they will say, no, the Bible says women should not talk, women should keep quiet. The Bible says that women were there. What about the things? Why don't you look into the Bible and look at women that did awesome things? Deborah.
Esther. Women that stood out. Yes.
Esther.
Yeah.
But we just sort of just tell ourselves, and sometimes, we'll get to it, but that mentality that you said, the Bible talks about casting down strongholds. The things that have, that are inside our mind that is stopping us. One thing I normally say to people, especially people who have gone through trauma, is that, see, what happens to you, you have no control over it. But right now, you have control over what will happen to you, right? Don't allow what happened to you to keep happening to you, because the greatest asset anybody has is their mind. Your mind is your greatest asset. 3 John 2 says that above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. And your soul is of your mind, your emotions, and your will. And when you go through trauma, your soul is hurt. Your soul is wounded. So a lot of people are not able to move on into life and do anything because their soul and their mind has been destroyed. So woman, you have heard it. You need to celebrate yourself because God created you specially. Now, I'm going to ask you, right? Because I want us to be practical. Whilst you were, on this journey, you said it's been a journey of 16 years. Wow. Well done. And thank you for not giving up. Thank you because I'm sure that as I'm about to ask you, that there were some challenges. Now, being a woman coming from Africa in that kind of environment, I'm sure you faced some challenges. Even though you had the passion, you knew that there was the spark. You wanted to do these things because people are on a different level. Some people needed, get the spark working, but some people are already doing it. But then they're feeling that mindset is there. They're facing those challenges and they're probably struggling, which I know you probably also, went through that journey. I want you to share with us, what were some of the challenges you experienced, either when you were going to self-sabotage because of your mindset, whether other people around you told you can't do it, and then how did you overcome?
Let me even try to rephrase that question. What are the challenges you continue to experience? Because challenges never end. Challenges never end. And let me start from where you spoke about trauma. Do you know that a lot of women, everybody actually, but because we're focusing on the woman now, a lot of women went through trauma without even knowing. Let me tell you something. It is until you know the meaning of trauma that you can actually say that you were traumatized. This is you coming out of a relationship of domestic violence of 16 years. There are still some women who are in that situation. They don't know.
And they don't know. Well, for 14 years, sis, 14 years, I did not know I was being abused.
They feel
14 years.
That is life.
I didn't know. I just thought, it's just, the devil.
Yeah.
This is just the devil's
and
work.
You see, for some people, it's not even marriage. It's their childhood. My trauma started from childhood. I didn't know. Even when I became an adult, the things that I struggled with, I didn't understand why I was struggling with them until I was able to relate some things to my background, some things that had happened. You understand? Some things that were said to me constantly, some bullying I went through in school that stopped, that now began to, it was like I would get to a stage. And so that's why I said it's not that the challenges I faced, it's the challenges that one continues to face. You get to a stage and sometimes something in your head is telling you that, no, you can't go there, just stay there. Just stay, you've achieved enough. But what do you continue to do? The first thing you have to do, when I started talking, I said self-affirmation. And that's one thing I have done it today. Because that, for you to go to the next level, it means that you want to attain something that is not easily attainable. There will be giants in the land that want you to be afraid. And so I've said to myself today, there's a project I'm working on now. And I suddenly looked at it and I was like, my goodness, can I do it? Immediately, I countered it with words of affirmation. I have a pastor who continues to tell us that you cannot counter a thought with a thought. You counter a thought with words. And so I speak it. I scream it. Ayo, you are strong. You are bold. You do not have the spirit of fear. You have the spirit of power, of love, of a sound mind. You have to constantly tell you that, because there's something in your brain, not just something in your brain. There's the devil, the one that doesn't want you to rise, that constantly tries to put you down. And so I continue to speak words of affirmation. Number 2, I separate myself from people who are not going where I'm not going. People who are satisfied with where they are. People who want to instill fear in me. You know, there's some people in your life that you will not be able to separate yourself from. I know, because when I say this, I get that feedback, especially people who are married to men that are saying, no, just stay here. So they ask me, so do we divorce our husband? I say, no, that's not what I'm saying. But you have to find a way to protect your mind. Yes, you have to find a way. Look, if you know that you're telling somebody, I don't want to be mentioning husband, you're telling somebody your dreams because you can't but tell that person. And the person is...
And it can be on the flip side as well. So I know that this is a woman's program, but men are watching. And even when I say, so let me just quickly say this. When I talk about abuse, a lot of times, abuse is not gender biased. I've worked with men also who went through abuse, whom their wives abused them.
Absolutely. So if you know that you are around somebody, you can't avoid the person. Anytime you talk to somebody, that person about your dreams, the person shoots it down. Hey girl, stop talking about your dreams to that person. And we have the example of Joseph in the Bible. After a while, Joseph knew that, look, it's time to keep my mouth shut. So look, the fact that some people don't want you to rise is not breaking news. It's part of the deal. It's part of life. So, you know, it used to be shocking to me. I used to feel very betrayed when I encounter such people. But I don't feel betrayed anymore. And you see, when you have that mindset, it helps you. Nothing shocks you. It actually prepares you. You're prepared for anything. Do you understand? So I affirm myself. I surround myself with the right people. I fix my eyes on what I want to become. And that is where you see this era of social media, it now comes in. Don't just follow people blindly. Follow people and ask yourself, why do I follow these people? Do you know there's some people I follow on social media because there are times when I just want to laugh. I just go to their pages and there's some people I follow that my husband just looks at me and he says, I really can't believe you're following this person. Like this person is so raz. And I'm like, it's the razness that makes me laugh. I just want to laugh. My daughter sometimes says, Mommy, I can't even touch this person with the longest pole. And I'm like, deal with it. This person just makes me laugh. Do you understand? So know why you're following people. And also, no matter how good the person is, listen, and this is very important, no two journeys are the same. No matter how successful that other person is. The fact that that person went through that route does not mean you should go through that route. That's where spirituality comes in. You see, spirituality helps you to understand your own journey and own it. There are two things. You understand it, one, and then you own it. It helps you, it teaches you how to own your journey. Because as you keep going higher, you know, the higher you go, you look down and you're scared. You look around you and like sometimes you are alone. But spirituality makes you understand that I'm not alone. You have God on your side. And he's the one that tells you, keep going. Keep going. And so that's where the balance comes in. And that helps me to continue to overcome challenges. And even in all of this, I fail. I don't forget to tell people I fail. But you know what spirituality does to you. And when I say spirituality, we're not just saying spirituality in a vague manner. We're saying your relationship with God, the creator of heaven and earth. We're saying, and you and I are talking as Christians. Thank God for that. And so we're saying that even when you fail, because you know that, number one, you didn't get there by your power, by your might in the first place. You look at the one who got you there and he picks you up. And even that you feel is a failure, he has a way of so beautifying it, and everybody's like, wow, you thought you tripped, but everybody's like, wow, I like that dance step. what he does. That's what he does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, that is so phenomenal. You know, I want to ask you a question, and I know that because of time, we need to begin to round up now. But, you know, one of the things that I've realized happens to us, you know, women, is we look at somebody, we can look for instance, look at your Megbope and say, oh wow, she's so successful. Oh my goodness, everything is okay for her, everything is perfect and all of that. And then, especially in this day of social media, you're following this, you're seeing. I said to somebody the other day, I said, this thing that you're telling me that you saw on social media is making you feel like this. Are you so sure it's even true? Like I said, don't believe anything you see on social media. Do not do it, right? Because you'll be shocked as to the kind of things people put out there that is not even true. And then you are going into a depressed state because of what you're saying. But you know, a lot of women, we look at other women and we're like, oh, that person is this, that person is that, this person has that, and then I'm not successful, I don't have this, you know, I'm just sad and frustrated. What will you say from your own perspective is the definition of a successful
Thank you
woman?
for that question. You see, you have to define success. You have to define success. The fact that somebody is doing something does not mean you're meant to do it. That's why I said that you have to understand your journey and you have to own your journey. It's not everything. We have different strengths. We have different capacities, you know, and God, listen, God that helps us to know that that is so in the Bible. We look at the Matthew chapter 25, the parable of the talents. Give them different talents. But let me tell you the secret I discovered. It is as you use what he gives you that he multiplies it. So look, the moment you sit back and you're moping and you're saying, Jola has 10, I only have 2. Hello, your 2 will never grow. It is as you take your eyes off what Jola has. Celebrate what, oh, Jola has 10. Thank you, Lord. Jola has 10. Yay! I have 2. Oh God, so what do I do with that, my 2? Jola has 10. She's doing well. Lord, what do I do with my 2? As you do that, you will see your 2 grow. That's my story, Jola. From 1,000 naira moi moi. Facing it, taking my eyes, because I started at 40. Taking my eyes off everybody. I used to be so focused on what everybody was doing. Be so focused on their successes. Be so focused on the opportunities I had that I didn't take advantage of. Until I said, okay, enough of all the noise. What do I have? What do I have? I don't have all of this. What do I have? Okay, I can cook. What do I have? My husband, my children. Okay, how can I make the best of this situation? I began to take care of them and then cook. I stumbled into it, Jola. I didn't plan to do a business. And it was in being diligent in that little that I could do. Doors began to open. And it has continued to grow. It is no longer about, thank God for the moi moi. Thank God for no leftovers. No leftovers is growing. We opened an arm of the business in the US. But it's beyond that. All the engagements, all the international platforms, they're not telling me to come and cook moi moi. And they're not even telling me to come and cook moi moi there. You know, I never knew, Jola. My life is now about speaking, about encouraging, about, you know, I never knew. When I was in school, they used to tease me when I was in literary and debating society. And I would say, I can debate. All the girls there will tease me. Oh, what can she say? You that can't even speak correct English. That was in my head. But they're watching. They're watching now. They're watching.
Yeah. No results. I mean, somebody said this thing that you know, really got to me. Said it's only
absolutely
with results. You know, that sometimes just results. Oh my goodness, I'm so I'm so mesmerized by what you're saying tonight. In that you have something. What do you have? And you know, especially because we're women, I don't know whether it's inside our DNA, but we sort of have that tendency to always look at what Hey, what is my neighbor doing? Hey, today she wore red shoes to church. I know next week I'm going to wear my own red shoes. So she thinks she's the only one that can wear red shoe. And then I go and buy red shoe and bag. And I'm going to even match my own with bag. We're always looking at what somebody else is doing, what that one is doing, what that one is doing. What
It's so unnecessary. You know what?
Because
Yeah, I mean, and you know that energy that you're using in looking at what everybody's doing and trying to copy and paste. Is that same energy that you need to build your life with. And so when you are consumed with doing that, you are left with no energy to build your own. I mean, those were the things that I realized. I'm like, Ayodeji, enough. Focus on building your life. Focus on your assignment. Focus on doing what God wants you to do. I am a woman of value. And you know, I'm not, you know, it delivers you from unnecessary competition. It even delivers you from competition. I was telling somebody today that I've realized that we're all one army. When I say all of us, every good person that is focused on building, whether building a nation, building your family, building and not destroying, we're one army. So I should celebrate. If we're one army, if a soldier in my army falls, what does a real army, you know, an active army do? What do? They cover. They cover. We cover ourselves. We don't rejoice when a soldier falls. And so, when you're that minded, you're not looking at copying anybody. You're not looking at anybody's better than me. You're copying your own beats. Why? For the big picture, for the success of the whole team. I see what different people are doing, and I'm happy. And I know that the one who sent us is happy that all of us are doing what we're supposed to be doing. And when it's time for us to be rewarded, everybody will be. I want my own reward. So if my reward comes from doing what I should do, my reward also comes from covering the other soldier. If I expose that person, we can't win. And so we as women should deliver ourselves from that. And that's why the men thrive.
But why do women, what is it? What is the issue? Why do we find it difficult to do that? Why, in fact, is one of the questions I think I asked last week is, okay, it looks as if, can you guys hear me? Or is it my network or her network? I think she's frozen. So please help me out, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I think it's our network. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for her to come back. I'm gonna wait for her to come back. Official, really good evening. Lola, Wendy, Tenny, Olami. Good evening, everybody watching. Good evening, everybody watching. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, okay, yeah, thank you. You can hear me. So I'm just gonna wait for her to come back. You know, we're still talking about, thank you. We're talking about women celebrating each other. You have something, right? God created you with something. He put something on your inside. You are not an accident. You are not an happenstance. You didn't just sort of, you know, appear. He created you with intention. It was intentional when he created you. And so what you need to do is to look inwards and begin to ask yourself, what do I have? My goodness, that was so powerful. What do I have? You have something. Don't say I don't have anything. You know, you have something on your inside. So begin to look inwards and ask yourself, what do I have? And then begin to work. He says, as you use what he gave you, it begins to multiply. And that is her story. From 1,000 naira, right? She's 16 years. You know, she couldn't tell us about how she went to the White House. You know, you had a meeting at the White House, but so much has come out of that 1,000 naira because she asked herself, what do I have? And so begin to ask yourself, what do you have? I see Mama Funke Adetuberry in the house. Good evening, ma. I missed your session. I'm going to have to rewatch it. I know that was so phenomenal. Yes, thank you so much, Taiwo. Thank you, Talk to Oasis. Thank you, Yomi Abodori. And see, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what your past has been like. You can still fulfill purpose. You can still what? Heal. You can still what? You know, achieve that purpose that God has given to you to be here. You need to heal and rise from your past, which is why I'm so excited. Guys, I'm so excited. You know, I'm launching my very first book this year. You know, I mentioned, for those of you who don't really know me, I'm Jola-Grace Emmanuel. I'm the soul doctor, and I'm passionate about the health and the healing of the soul. And, you know, I shared earlier on that, you know, in my journey of, you know, domestic violence and abuse, coming out of that, and then healing and reinventing myself. And I realized that a lot of times we stay stagnated in our past. Like, you know, looking inwards and asking yourself. She was saying that sometimes the trauma is not just, it's not spousal. It can be a trauma of childhood, which sort of affects you in your adulthood. And what you need to do is to rise above it, to heal and rise above that trauma, right? And so this Saturday, I want you to join me at the official launch. It's virtual, okay? Go to my bio. The link is in my bio. It's virtual. And I'm privileged this Saturday to be having my spiritual parent, Reverend Funke Felix Adejumo will be with us. Reverend Victor Adeyemi will be with us. Baba, okay, I think she's back. So also we're going to have Bishop Febi Dauza will be with us. Pastor Shola, okay, will be with us. And Baba, my Baba, Reverend George Adeboye will be with us this Saturday at the official launch of Rise Above Your Past. I'm so excited. You know, I put, welcome back, sis. You know, I posted something earlier on this week, and I said, I'm making a lot of noise about my book, you know. So I got okay, it's not where I am now. I got my first copy a few days ago, and I was just crying. I was just crying. It wasn't tears of sadness or anything. It was just tears of gratitude. You know, because of the abuse that I went through, I was clinically diagnosed as depressed. I was on antidepressants and everything. My mind was a mess. So who would think that someone that the mind has been messed up can thrive, talk less of writing? So for me, it's like what you said. What do you have? I looked in. I said, I'm more than this. There is something. And so for me, like literally that I did this.
Yoga.
But bear with me, sis. Keep talking. I want to go and get the book.
Come on.
So keep talking.
No,
Guys.
I'm so excited about Jola's story. And you know, the truth is that a lot of us go through abuse in different ways. We go through trauma in different ways we don't even know. Anything that hinders you from being all is something you have to get out of. It could be a relation, and it doesn't have to be marriage alone. It could be a girl-girl relationship, a boy-boy relationship. As long as that thing is hindering you from being all, constantly putting fear in you, you can't express yourself. It's not of God. Cut off that thing. Leave that space. Yeah. Wow.
It came. I mean, this was like the draft copy and everything, you know, for me to see. But I got the book and I was like, you wrote a book. You. How? How did that even happen? From the things that you said to me.
Wow.
I wrote a book.
Awesome.
Okay, guys.
I love
come
this.
On Saturday. Come on Saturday. You are going to hear the full gist. You know, and I was speaking to Mama this morning, Reverend Funke Felix Adejuma. She was like, she's going to be there, you know. I call her the chapter 1 in my journey to freedom. Tonight is not the time to, you know, give you the gist, but just come on Saturday, because my heart is, and that's why I said at the beginning that we need to keep doing this, because my people perish for lack of knowledge. What we don't know is hurting us so bad. What you don't know is hurting us so bad. So, you know, and thank God for social media. Back in our days, 16 years ago, 20 years ago, we didn't have all of this. You know, but now people have this information. They have all of these things, and it's important for us to keep putting it out there, so everyone knows that I can do this. Absolutely. I'm better than this. There's something that I have. Even if it's that 1,000 naira, I can start from somewhere. Look at Ayo. She's done this. I can do it as well. You can do it because God created you, and He created you in His own image. You know, so you were saying, we're talking about sometimes where we find it difficult, I was asking why we find it difficult, you know, to actually support
Why we are
ourselves and
always
encourage ourselves and all of
why
that.
we
You know,
are
when you're saying
always
that guys is
why we're
different, but
always
with
into
women.
unnecessary competition, you know. It's also, you see, we've been even in raising us, we've been bullied. We've been bullied to stay under. We've been bullied to believe that the top is meant for the men, and we're not even, see, from my definition of feminism is not that I'm rubbing shoulders with the men. It's not about being rubbing shoulders with anybody. It's just that I'm a woman. I need to fully express who I am. I need to fully express who I am. I need to fully express what I can do. And I need to be in an environment that helps me thrive. And so don't create an environment that will hinder me. Don't deliberately. That's what we're saying when we're talking about gender equality, equal pay, and all of that. That's what we're saying. We can produce, we are equal to the task. We're up to the task. So why should you, because I'm a woman, derive me of what is rightfully mine, and then say because somebody is a man? Do you understand? So if at the end of the day that other person is more qualified than I am, it's a different ball game. But not when we are equally, or even when I'm more qualified, and then you now say that because the person is a man. Even look at, sorry, and that is why we as women, as mothers, we are the ones in charge of the cradle. Thank God for the enlightenment that we have today. When we were being raised, I wasn't raised equally with my brothers. My brother was, Ayo, go and wash the plates, go and do this, go and do that. Shitty, make tea for your brother. Then no, that doesn't exist. I have two children, a young man and a young lady. We raise them equally. We raise them equally to let them know that, look, you're equal. There's no higher sex. There's no lower sex. We do everything. And that is why when you raise such children, when you raise men and women, boys and girls like that, we won't have problems in the family. They won't have problems. And that is one grace that I have. That's why I'm enjoying my marriage. And I bless the memory of my mother-in-law. Raised all her children equally. Let the young man know that what the girls do, you do. And that is why in the home there's no conflict. I do what I want to, what I do, because I take it upon myself to do, not because somebody's saying, go get my meal. Do you understand? And when he's able to do it, he does it too. So, but women, we must be protectors of ourselves. We should stop shaming each other. We know what we go through. Nobody knows what we go through like us. The men don't understand what we go through. And so let us stop shaming ourselves. Let us, look at, for example, a woman lost her child in a school. I'm sorry to bring that up here. And then we have women who are talking this woman down, who are telling her the child is dead, move on with life. Who does that? How? You're a mother. Even if you're not a mother, you're a woman that desires to have children. Who wants to have children and then the child just dies? I'm not even talking about the school. I'm not getting into any mess. I'm just saying, let's just use kind words. Let's be kind to ourselves. When a woman falls, don't be in glee. You're the first to go to social media and tell everybody that woman has fallen. And look at her home has broken. What do you have to gain? So we have to start from there. Let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be empathic to ourselves. And then finally, Jola, let's correct ourselves in love. There's a way. I'm not saying when people are wrong, don't correct them. Correct people in love. There is a way your correction will look like you are ready to shred that person into pieces. No. Learn to correct, especially when it's a woman. We have to be favorable. We have to be favorably supportive of ourselves. We have to favor ourselves. Even when we cover ourselves up. And then we speak the truth to ourselves. No, this is not the way to behave. And of course, listen, everybody can be on your side. Okay? So that's not the problem. Everybody can be on your side. But to not speak the truth, because sometimes people want you to keep quiet. And what you said, You know,
Mm.
don't be delivered from something and then keep quiet. You have to speak out, because there's so many negative information out there that people are thinking miracles don't happen
Oh, yeah.
anymore. Let them say you're showing off. You know what you're doing. You know you're telling your
Oh, yeah.
story to deliver other people. Some people will come and they want to throw it in your face and say, is it only you? Please, you should even grow beyond that. I don't even have time for such. I don't have time. That's why you have to be strong and confident in yourself. Thank you, Jola.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. One of the things I say to people, that in my class, in my one-on-one coaching and everything is that, see, for you, there's one thing, if you don't get anything, right? Everybody get this, everybody will not like you. Just take
Absolutely.
that, drink water.
Yes,
Take
ma'am.
it and drink
Yes,
water on
ma'am.
top of it. I say, everybody will not like you. And then I asked them, I said, do you like everybody? Do you like everybody? You don't like everybody. You know, you have those uncles and those aunties that they are very annoying, and then when you see them when you see your phone and they are on the call,
Not
oh my
today.
goodness, what does auntie I'm looking for
Auntie
a name.
Ramota.
Auntie
Ramota.
I don't know. Auntie Ramota. Or Lagbaja, what does brother Lagbaja want now? Oh, I don't have his time. It's so annoying. You know that you don't like everybody. So why do you think that everybody will like you? What is wrong with you? Why do you think everybody's like, everybody will not like you? Because see, and I say to people that sometimes it's not because you are right and I am wrong, or I am wrong and I'm right.
Absolutely.
It's just that we're different.
That's right.
We are different. So I say to people, find your kin. Find those who think like you, who reason like you, who share the same values as you, and connect yourself to your kin. Because if you're trying to connect yourself with people who are not your kin, and you will just live a frustrated life. And so, part of my journey, and part of the things I put in this book is finding it when you're rising from your past, investigating your past, and checking your environment. Who are the people in my environment? Who are the people in my environment? And one of the things you also said, that I was asking you, that you said you surround yourself with the right people. You separate yourself from negative. It's not as if some people, that's the way they reason. Their own is the glass is half empty. There's nothing, it's not their fault. That's just the way they think. This one is no, you cannot do that. So you just came to the UK. I was telling some of my friends that relocated a few years ago. I said, they said don't listen to anybody. Because that's their job. Once somebody relocates and they say, don't try it. So in this UK, you cannot get a job like that within 1 year. Just go and be doing that here. I said, don't listen to them. Tell yourself what you want to do and work towards it. So it's so important for you to first of all free yourself from that everybody must like me mindset, because you're just going to put yourself in a lot of. Thank you so very much for tonight. I wish you could go on and on and on and on and on, but I know that you have to go. You are in the US right now, and I know that it's a big sacrifice for you. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. I know that a lot of people have received courage tonight. A lot of women have received hope tonight. That it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter, what has happened in your past. You can still be all. You can achieve all-round success. You can be that woman that God has created you to be. You can be, that voice. You can be that person that people look at and they say to themselves, okay, there is hope for me, because we all need to be ambassadors of hope. You might think, somebody said to me that, there's something you are sat here, you're complaining of your present situation. Somebody somewhere will look at your situation and it will be their own testimony. It will be that
true.
You don't have a shoe. Let me even have leg. Let me even have leg. It's true, you don't have. If I have leg, I'll be so thank you, God, I have leg. You are complaining. I'm not married. I'm this age. But you have a good job. You have money. You have this. Somebody somewhere. Nothing. they are at the backside of somewhere, they are sick. So whatever it is that you have around you, look at it. First, be grateful to God that you have it, and then work on yourself, develop yourself, because you are a woman and you have so much that God has put on your inside. Thank you all so much. I know we've taken extra time tonight, but thank you all so much for connecting with us and staying with us all through. This is going to be saved on my IGTV. You can always go back and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Come and celebrate with me as I launch my first book. It's not easy to be an author, guys.
Tell me
Don't be
about
calling my
it.
name anyhow after today. But it's not easy at all. You know what I'm talking about now.
Well
You know.
done.
So I'll see you all on Saturday. Link to RSVP is in my bio. I love you all. I'm going to see you again next week with another very special guest. Have yourself a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much,
Bye.
sis. Thank you. Bye, everyone. God bless you.